Welcome everyone. In this session, we will explore Python sequence data types such as lists and tuples and understand their creation methods and how to use them. So before that, in the last session, we learned about strings operations, string slicing, and other various useful string methods. In this particular session, we are going to learn about list and tuples. So we will begin by understanding what lists are, how to create them, how to access their elements, how to do something like list slicing, and then use some built-in methods. Then we will see how tuples are different from list and why they are immutable versus why lists are mutable. So, and then at the end, we'll highlight the key differences between lists and tuples. So, first of all, talking about list, a list in Python is an ordered collection that can store multiple items of any data type, that is integer, boolean, string, floats, or other list tuples as well. Lists are defined using square brackets and elements are comma separated. We can access elements using indexing, and to extract subparts of a string, we use method like slicing in the same way as we used with strings. So, uh, in this particular code example, if we see, we create a list called as fruits and we add four elements. So if you see, we have four elements here: apple, banana, cherry, mango, each as a string separated by a comma. And if I just want to access any element, as we discussed indexing in the last string session, we can index this particular element like apple from the list by just simply using fruits square bracket 0, and we'll be able to access that particular element. Then coming to the slicing the list, similar to like how we were doing the slicing in the string part, we can simply do fruits square brackets 1 colon 3, and we'll get elements starting like from index 1 and going to index 2. And here, remember the difference you will notice is uh, here 1 colon 3, it will mean start with 1 and go till 2. 3 will be excluded from this. So the output we get is banana and cherry. Even if you do 0 colon 3, it will be apple, banana, cherry, right? Then changing element by index. So changing any value in list is also possible. You can simply do fruits 1. So any value in index 1 will be replaced by watermelon. So let me just open this particular code. So to remember this particular slicing method, I will give you this one hint. What you can do is, if you're starting from, let's say, index 0 and you have the next value as 3, it is very easy to understand that you would get uh, three values in the output. Now let's say I'm doing 1 colon 3, so you're getting 2. So now some of you might get confused: if I added 3, then why didn't I get 3 uh, 3 elements in my output? So here what you can essentially think of is, it starts from 1, so the number of elements that I will be getting here will be 3 minus 1, that is 2. So this is one way to actually understand it, but otherwise you can simply take it as start from 1 and go till 3, but excluding the last index that we have mentioned. Let's say I will simply do Python create list. Uh, if we access the element at 0th index, that is apple. If I'm trying to access the index as -1, that is mango. Slicing 1 colon 3, that will give me banana and cherry. And changing element by index, that will give me if I just maybe I will just print it out back. So if you see on element index 1, that was earlier assigned for banana, is now changed with watermelon. So that's how you can change any values at any index by reassigning the value. So you can simply do fruits square brackets particular index equal to whatever value you want to assign to that particular index. Then talking a bit about list methods. So remember, I talked about something like mutable and immutable. So lists are mutable, meaning list can be modified, their content, their elements can be changed. So Python provides certain important list methods like append. So with append, you can add an item to the list, that this particular item would be or element would be added at the very end of the list. Then insert you can provide a particular index, and uh, that at that particular index that particular element would be added. Then we have two other methods, remove and pop. So remove and pop, both these methods remove particular values from the list. And we can also use something like sort. So sort alphabetically or in ascending order, based on like if we are using numbers or strings, it sorts the overall list. So if we go and just try out this methods, so what I will do is first let me add the append method is already available to us. Sort, remove are there. So I will add the pop method here as well. So let's say I do pop. So let's remove this. Great. So what we are doing here is we just take a list, numbers 5291. We will append 7. This 7 will be appended at the end. Then sort. What sort will do is it will sort this full list into an ascending order. Then if I do dot remove 5, it will remove 5 from the list. If there were multiple occurrences of 5 in the list, it will all be get removed. If I do dot extend, so what extend does is we can add an list to a list. Sorry, not list to a list. It will, if I have two lists and if I do numbers dot extend an other list, this would get merged with the original list. While if I did just append here, so let's say I do something like this, when this append will add this list inside list, it will create a nested list inside a list. And then if I simply do print numbers, so whatever last element would be there, that particular last element would be removed from here. So here this nested list will get removed. And if I insert a particular value, so at index 2 a value 10 will be inserted, and after 10 all these values will be shifted to its right side. So let me just run this particular file. So yeah, as we discussed, append 7 will add an 7 at the end. Sort will sort it as in descending order. Remove 5, it will remove particular 5 value. Then extend 1 to 3, it will merge this particular list. Then if I do append, it will add 1 to 3 here like this. Then if I go and just do dot pop, this particular added list will be removed, and inserting 10 at second index, this 10 will be added here, and this whole particular sequence would be moved to its right. So that's how various string methods work. Like it's kind of modifying, manipulating the values inside the string. Then as we just discussed, nested list or list inside list. So list can also have other lists in them, creating nested structures. So we will just see how we can access element in list in a list inside a list, and how we can also modify that. So let's say you can create something like this. First create a list, and in that we will have two elements, and these two elements are list itself. So 1 comma 2 is a list, 3 comma 4 is a list, and these are two elements for this list. So let's say if I do something like print length of this matrix, so this will give me output as 2 because there are two elements inside this list, and each list also contains two elements in it. So let's say if I just try to print 1 0, so how it works is it goes by row wise. So this matrix can also be represented this way: 1 comma 2, 3 comma 4. So think of it like this. So here, this is my zeroth row, and this will be my first row. Here, the my first row would be like zeroth column, comma, first column. So how we are going to access this here is, if I do matrix 1, so this 1 represents the row. So this 3, like this is my first row, and 0 represents my column. So this is my zeroth column. So if you just try to have a look, zeroth column and first row both merge at here 3. So the output for this particular print statement would be 3. Now let's say I wanted to access element 2. So how I can access this element 2 is, where does the element 2 occur is, element 2 occurs at 0th row and the first column. If I do 0 and 1, the output would be 2. Then in the same way, modifying an element in the list inside a list, you can simply again pass in this particular values, equal, pass in equal to value, and those values will get converted. So here we are just changing 2 to 99. So let me just run this now. Yeah. So if you see, the length is 2, the matrix at position 1 and 0 is 3, at matrix 0 and 1 the output is 2, and we just modified the value 2 to 99, so the output now looks like 1 comma 99 and 3 comma 4. So this is how nested lists work and how you can modify their values. Then coming to the tuples, so tuples are very similar to lists, but they're immutable, meaning once created, their values, their elements cannot be changed. Tuple uses parentheses; they cannot be created like in the same way as lists, like with the square brackets. They're also useful to ensure that data remains constant. So sometimes there can be cases where you get a fixed number of elements, let's say 5 elements, and those 5 elements will never change. So in that case, it is always better to use tuples instead of list, because tuple will ensure that your data doesn't get changed in between the processes. So in this particular code example, we create a tuple of called as coordinates with particular 5 elements. Here, we can access an element in the same way. We can slice tuples in the same way like list. But if we are going to try to change or modify a value here in tuple, it will throw me an error. Okay, sorry. Let me just uncomment this. Yeah, so it raised an upper error that tuple object does not support item assignment, meaning tuple, with tuple you cannot do item assignment, item modification. None of them is supported. So this is how tuples are a bit different from list. It almost is very similar in respect to indexing and slicing, but apart from that, none of the list methods will be supported by tuple. So the key differences between list and tuples. So lists are mutable, meaning their values can be changed. Tuples are immutable, their values cannot be changed. List uses square brackets, tuple use round brackets. The other two ways list can be created is you use list and type in a round bracket. With tuple, you just simply use round brackets. Sorry, I mean you just type in specifically tuple keyword and create a round brackets. List have more built-in methods compared to tuples because it is mutable. Tuples can be like faster, and tuples are also more memory efficient because they're not mutable. So whenever a tuple object is created in memory and fixed memory is allocated, which is not dynamic, while list values can or might change. So an So like due to that dynamic sizing of list, it can be less memory efficient compared to tuple. So the other thing which we're talking about, how to create list via the list function and the tuple function. So let's say you can create a list. So let's say create a list L. So you can also do something like this. Sorry, not this way. List like this, and a tuple T like tuple, and 1 comma 2. And now here there is a catch. So when you create a tuple, so let's say I do tuple 2 and I will just add 1 here, and let me also create a tuple 3, and I will try to print their types. Right. Now what will happen here is, so I will just uncomment this whole stuff. So this list will create a list in the same way as we created list 1, 2, 3. Then if we created this tuple 1 comma 2, so let me comment this first and I will run this. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. And comment this 2 as well. So yeah, you can see this list is created and this tuple element is also created. So here the catch that I was talking about is, let's say I will just create one like this. So what will happen here is this T2 will be mentioned as an integer and this will be mentioned as a tuple. So remember, if you create a tuple with single element and you don't add in a comma, that will convert this particular tuple to the type that this particular data holds, and it will not be considered as a tuple. So whenever you want to create a tuple with a single element, always add an comma after that. That is very essential to do, right? So yeah, to wrap up today's session, we now understand how to create and work with lists and their methods. We understood tuples, how they are different from list and being immutable. And understanding these sequences is very important because like majority of the real world programs involve list or tuples in a way or other to modify the data. When we are working with a large data, that large data, if it is in form of excel or any other particular format, that those formats are essentially a kind of list or tuples kind of a structure. So if you understand the structures, it is very much useful in understanding different types of data structures as well. Then in the next session, we're going to learn about sets and dictionaries. That these are the other two types of data types in Python. Very helpful. Sets helps us manage unique items, and dictionaries allow storing of key value pairs. So yeah, thank you for joining today's session. Let's meet in the next session. Have a good day.